Some new horrifying information has emerged about the Republican candidate for the Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin that's going to decide the balance of power on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The far right-wing DOGE MAGA candidate, a guy by the name of Brad Schimel. He's been trying to pretend that he's not DOGE, that he's not MAGA, that he's not Trumpy. He's trying to run away from it. So we here at the MeidasTouch Network, of course, first saw this published by Axios, that Elon Musk's PAC is offering $100 to Wisconsin voters in a pitch against, quote, activist judges. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, there goes Musk again. He's trying to buy those votes again. And then it became clear to us that really Elon Musk was trying to Dogeify Wisconsin. So we had to look deeper here at the MeidasTouch Network into Brad Schimel's past, look at his social media posts, and we found this. While he claims he's not a partisan, this is what he was doing. He would go to those Trump boat parades, and he would wear shirts like this one that says, Jesus is my savior, but Trump is my president. And here's the thing with someone like this too. It's like, if you're Trumpy, then just say it. Just say you're Trumpy and let the voters ultimately decide that you're a Trumpy Doge guy. And if they want to vote for getting rid of Social Security and Medicaid, if they're into all that stuff, you're their guy, I guess, on the court. Then we did some more digging into some speeches that were given by Schimel, and some kind of just scary and weird stuff came up, like this one right here where Schimel tells this story while he's speaking in front of this group about how he psychologically beat the daylights out of an 8-year-old in the backseat. I think he's talking about, his daughter. You can feel the cringe level of the audience as he's telling this bizarre story. Play this clip.
And she reminded me of a story that I cannot deny. We had picked up our oldest, Mackenzie, at a friend's house, and there'd been a fib. I don't know what the fib was anymore, but she had told a fib about something, and she was denying that she had fibbed. So this car ride home, I'm going to get her on the witness stand. So she's in the back seat. I adjusted the mirror, so I'm looking right at her, and she's looking right at me. And every time she looks away, I said, look at me. And I don't think I looked at the road the whole way. And I got her back there, and I'm grilling her about this, and I'm rebutting every fib she piles on the fib. And I got a Perry Mason moment right there in my car. She broke down. I did it. And I won my trial. She is next witness, rest my case. Well, she's in the back seat. She is just crying miserably. My wife's looking at me like I'm a monster. And I was proud of myself. I just beat up on it. She was probably 8. I just psychologically beat the daylights out of an 8-year-old in the back seat. That was.
I want to bring in Dane County Circuit Court Judge Susan Crawford, who is running against Schimel in this seat. We have a law and order pro-democracy judge here. What do you make of all of this, of these recent these videos from his past that have emerged?
Well, that was a really sad story, and just, makes your heart break for that child. But I think, what we're hearing is a lot more of what Brad Schimel says when he's in private, what he says when he believes he's in a group of his political allies, versus what he'll say on a broader stage when he thinks he's talking to a general audience. It has happened over and over in this campaign.
What's your message to the people of Wisconsin, though, who, don't know? I mean, some people are like, wait a minute, Supreme Court races, people run for this seat. A lot of people don't even know like that. I know a lot of people in Wisconsin are paying attention when it happens in your state. They start to pay attention often closer. And I know that people are starting to vote already. So what do you say to them?
Listen to what he says, listen to his words. And he's talked about begging on his knees for campaign contributions, wearing out his knee pads. He's saying that he wants to be on the court to be part of Donald Trump's support network. you just got to listen to what the guy says. He wants to be on the court to push a partisan agenda. He wants to be there to support Elon Musk and to support Donald Trump and DOGE. And that's really not what the court's for. And I've said over and over, I want to be on the court to protect the people of Wisconsin under our Constitution and laws. Brad Schimel's got a whole different agenda.
Yeah, I mean, when you and I speak, it's always speaking about I'm law and order. I'm going to enforce the law. I'm going to enforce our state's constitution, United States Constitution. When he goes on podcasts, he goes to like the MAGA bro style podcast, and he tells that same story. Yeah. Like he loves that story. Here's another one that we unearthed, a second clip of Schimel on one of these bro podcasts or whatever they call them, saying his wife told him he shut her and his daughters out. And I didn't know what he was talking. What is he even talking about? Here, play this clip.
And you're kind of quiet about it. You don't ever talk about your work. You kind of shut us out. You come home from work and you don't talk to anybody for a while. And she said, you don't really talk to your daughters. You kind of interrogate your daughters. And I was like, wow, maybe I'm in too deep. Maybe I need to take a step back.
Like, it's a choice to go on a podcast like that, and it's creepy.
It is, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it.
I'll move on to the next. I'll move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
let me show you this other. Let me show you this other clip right here, though, and as serious, I mean, horrific stuff right here. This is a clip that we unearthed. Where he said that he's personally against marriage equality. Well, let me show you this one.
I want to talk about one of the hot button issues, and that, of course, is same-sex marriage. How does Brad Schimel personally feel about same-sex marriage?
Okay, I'm going to open up here by making something very clear.
Okay.
As I do my job as Attorney General, my personal view on that issue has no business entering into the equation. Mm-hmm. My job as the state's lawyer is to defend Wisconsin's law until the Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional, or the people change it. So you start with that. But my view is I favor traditional marriage, one man, one woman. That's my personal view in my personal life. And and that's how I voted when the marriage amendment was on the ballot.
And Judge, let me show you one more right here where he said he would have defended a ban on interracial marriage. Here, let me show this to you.
But if you had been Attorney General in, say, the 1950s in a state that did not allow interracial marriage, do you think the proper role of an Attorney General then was to not put himself or herself into the mix and say this is wrong?
Yeah, it is. And I understand the argument.
Your job is to uphold the law, even if it's something that we might look back in the future as absurd or something. Well,
it might be distasteful to me.
Okay.
But
right. I appreciate your answer.
I've got to stay consistent with that as the state's lawyer. It's not my job to pick and choose.
What do you make of all those clips that I shared with you?
Well, this is somebody who won't take a stand to protect the people of Wisconsin under our Constitution. He is saying that in a number of different ways, but that's what his position was. And, there have been cases in the past where attorneys general faced with a clearly unconstitutional law have said, I cannot defend this. And in some of those instances, the state's governor has gone on to find a different lawyer to defend the laws, or the law is conceded as unconstitutional. But Brad Schimel is somebody who won't take a stand for the people of Wisconsin.
And I think the big fear right now is, as DOGE is taking a wrecking ball on people's lives. Yeah. And I just saw Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, kind of making fun and mocking the concept. I think he said, so what if your social security check comes in late? He goes, if you complain that it comes in late, you're probably the fraudster. Direct quote that he said. So as people in Wisconsin hear this, they see DOGE firing these veterans. They hear about people potentially unconstitutionally being kidnapped and sent to concentration camps in El Salvador, and they think about someone like a Schimel, and I think they're asking, is this guy going to be a rubber stamp for authoritarianism, or is he going to defend the people of Wisconsin? What's your closing argument to the people of Wisconsin who are watching?
He has basically said he wants to be a rubber stamp. He said he wants to be part of Trump's support network. And Elon Musk has paid canvassers going out around the state saying, we need Brad Schimel to support the Trump agenda. And, he is aiming to be a wing of the Trump administration from the Wisconsin Supreme Court. It's not what the role of the court is. And, so I would say even to people who maybe like Donald Trump, like what he's doing in Washington, D.C., and even people who think that Elon Musk might be doing some good out there. What do we need in the Wisconsin Supreme Court? We need a court that's going to apply the laws, interpret the laws fairly and impartially, and uphold the rights of people in Wisconsin under our Constitution. We don't need somebody who's going to rubber stamp everything that the Trump administration is doing, or even anything that is happening in the state of Wisconsin. It's just not the role of the court.
Judge, where can people find out more information about you? And I know the last day to vote is April 1st, but right now voting's taking place right now. Where can people find out more information if they want to learn about you and your background?
Yeah, they can check out my campaign website, which is Crawford4WI.com. So Crawford, FORWI.com. And any Wisconsinites out there, I'd urge you to vote now. We just had a snowstorm here a couple of days ago where it was really rough on the road. So don't wait. We can have spring snowstorms. Get the job done and cast your ballot today.
Judge Susan Crawford running for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Very big race there in Wisconsin with national implications as well. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.